Hey, how's it going? This is Chris, developer for the Outer Islands. Hope you're doing well. Okay, so I'm just going to have a little talk about and kind of show and tell for this tool that I've got here. Now, this tool, and I'll just collapse the menu just to give us a bit more space, is the ideas board. So this is what I use for top level stuff when I'm designing game levels. So what I've got here is, my small paragraph and exploration notes, and then you can see here I've got the asylum gates, which leads me down to the arrival section, and then I've got inside of here garden gate, foreman's office, staff room, and I've got various other parts here like disused offices, cargo loading areas, a note, the control panel, garden walls. So lots and lots of things here that basically are flows, the same way I'd be doing it normally with bits of yellow paper stuck to the wall. But where this comes in really useful for me is that this is RAG based, so I can use retrieval augmentation. So for example, over here in my document repo, I've got all the documents that relate to, at the minute, this phase of the game development. I'm going to delete that one actually because I don't need that one. There we go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in a fresh document. So I'll just add that into there. There we go, clear my download history again. And now I've selected the Outer Islands Historical Canon 1 PDF, so I'm just going to click upload on that. And when that's done, I'll just approve it and index it. And what that'll do is that'll pinecone index all of the stuff regarding the Outer Islands Historical Canon, and then the system will be able to understand. There we go, so it's got 26 chunks in there, it's quite a big one. Okay, so now if I go over to my ideas board, I may have other things I want to put into this as well. So for example, I may have an image of an asylum that I want to use for this. So I'll add an image note as well regarding the garden. So let me find there we are, there's the garden gate there, so I want it to connect to the garden gate. So I'll just create an image note. There we go. And this will create a node for the image. Then over here I can choose which image I want to put in here. So I may have different images already set, or I can upload my own image if I prefer. So I'll delete this item again. But where this gets really useful, here we go, local image. Where this gets really useful for me is once I've added this image, so I'm just going to choose my file. There we go, there it is. And I'll just put in some tags here, so garden, asylum, and I'll put this is a garden of a Victorian asylum. Okay, and now I can link asylum gate just here, which links to the garden, to this picture here of, there we go, I'll just upload it again because I didn't choose the upload button I think and didn't save the asylum itself. I'll just quickly pause while I do that. So there we go, I'll just click save. Now where this really comes in handy is I've got this node down here. Okay, so this is my AI observer node, and what I can do is I can use this to basically ask my Avery system here for reflections, gaps, or anything else regarding this. So look over the high level flow for the asylum first part of the game loop, and point out any issues, inconsistencies, or ideas to tighten the flow. Okay, so what it's going to do then is it's going to read any documents that I've got linked into this. Now I haven't actually linked any documents into this yet actually, so I know I uploaded it but I didn't actually link it, so I'll go to document. There we go. And I'll just quickly grab the document I need, which will be the canonical document, I believe, which I may have called untitled document rather awkwardly. But I better probably have called it untitled document. I'll have a quick check. The problem is I hadn't refreshed the page, so here it is, the Outer Islands Historical Canon. I'll check that this is actually very high importance, and I'll just click save. There we go. I'll get rid of this one, which is the photo evidence system, which I don't really need in here. And now I can just link this to the start or the arrival. So I'll link it into here. There we go. Just move this over here to make it a little bit more tidy. Okay, so now let's go back down to this AI node, and I'll put the question back in for Avery, and I'll ask. I'll just pause while it's cogitating. There we go, and it's finished, so we'll look at this together. So, patterns, linear exploration loop, local exploration, small puzzles, access controls, gardens, diegetic threading, notes and props, blah 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 blah, mixed challenge types. Gaps, no explicit player objective on arrival, valid. Interaction affordances, how to move crates, etc. unspecified. True, although we do teaching in the demo level / introduction level that it isn't aware of at the moment. Feedback paths for missed clues or failed attempts are absent. That's also valid. Tensions, open exploration versus gated progression may frustrate players who expect clear direction. Physical tasks, risk inconsistent pacing, and control panel placement relative to locked spaces could create circular routing. What should the player immediately want to do on arrival? Well, they want to get to the asylum. This is a valid point. How obvious are interactive objects visually and audibly? Good point. Is the secret path reward or an intended alternate route? Also important. Do I expect comfortable backtracking or one-way progression? Risks. Players may stall if interactions or clues aren't signposted, and key narrative beats could be missed without clear focal emphasis. So it's done exactly what it's supposed to do, okay? This thing isn't here to kiss my ass. I can get, like, you know, any AI to do that by putting any stupid idea I have into it and saying, please kiss my backside, this is my idea. What this is here to do is basically act as the person I don't have on my team when I'm a solo developer, pointing out the inconsistencies, the issues, the tensions, the risks, all the other things that are massively important so that I can fine-tune my work. As it stands, it has a very good point here, okay? It has made some very good points, and I will actually refine my document based on this, my overhead plan based on this rather. So as you can see, this is kind of what makes it really, really useful for me. So going forward, I'll add to this document, and then I'll be able to come back to it, rerun it through this AI observer, and just look for any issues that I've got regarding this. And this is just one of the tools that I've built for myself to make my game development job not easier, but certainly more organised, you know? Certainly more organised as a solo developer. Anyway, I hope you found that interesting. And, yeah, any questions, please feel free to shout. Bye-bye.